We now take this very precious and sacred time, the most beautiful gift we can give to ourselves, to turn within, to turn to our breath, an ever-living, breathing force animating us. And any time we can turn our attention to our breath. And if you follow this breath, it leads to the heart. And in these depths, we find peace. And then as we do our daily practice of touching the peace within us, we radiate that peace out into the world. And we make a difference. Peace of our heart expands beyond what we can imagine and touches the lives and the hearts of situations. And then again and again we come to this place of peace, deep within. And for this we give thanks. This ever-presence of peace within that we can touch and tap into at any time in the midst of any situation. And this is our greatest gift to the world. May peace and love be everlasting and consistently expressed through us and as us. We can gently bring our attention back to this place, in this space. And bring this peace into the world. And so it is. Amen.
Please join me. Our thoughts and prayers. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. And our guest speaker for today, Benjamin Justin.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful to be here today and for this opportunity to share my experiences and what I've learned in my studies. Today we're talking about understanding. And Thomas has been known as the doubter, maybe you've heard. But that's too simple. It's much deeper than that. And there is a purpose to this doubting, and we will see. This disciple, Thomas, needed to touch the risen Christ before believing. He moved from doubt to one of the strongest confessions in the Bible. my Lord, and my God. So from John 20, verses 24 or 26 through 28, Jesus and Thomas. So a week later, his disciples, so at first when the disciples saw Jesus, Thomas wasn't there. So a whole week later, the disciples were again in the house, and Thomas was with them this time. And although the doors were shut, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it in my side. Do not doubt, but believe." And Thomas answered him, "My Lord, my God." And from Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. So understanding comes from a Greek word that also means insight. Insight. Right? He literally put his hand in and realized, this realization came that was deeper than any of the other disciples. And he declared, he decreed, my God, my Lord, my God. Today we explore the spiritual power of understanding as taught by Charles Milman. We will look at what it is, how it works, and also how it doesn't work, and the powerful benefits it brings to our lives. With all that get understanding. So what is the power of understanding? From the revealing word, the ability of mind to apprehend and realize the laws of thought and the relation of ideas to one another. The laws of thought and the relation of the ideas to one another. So I looked up apprehend because in our society, our culture, it could have a different context. But apprehend means to perceive, to grasp, and to take hold of. We perceive, grasp, and take hold of. Now we've learned that faith is the perceiving power of the mind. Right? So we see understanding and it's apprehending. It is perceiving. So it's working with faith, the faith principle. And then to grasp. We can grasp something intellectually. Right? We can grab it intellectually, but it doesn't mean we're living it. So there's another part to that, to take hold of, to make it mine, my Lord, my God. The realization. And then once we have that realization, then we can live it, and living happens automatically. So, spiritual understanding is more than just intellectual knowledge. It is the faculty that perceives the intellectual. It is the faculty that perceives truth beyond appearances. So beyond all the appearances, it discerns the relation of ideas. And it realizes the spiritual laws. So understanding is located in the frontal lobe, and will is right above it. And we learned about will last week. And will and understanding work in collaboration. And as we're learning, these spiritual faculties are interdependent. They depend on one another. They do not stand alone. They are not compartmentalized. They're not separate. But in my first reading, the 12 powers of man, it kind of looked like a snapshot or a still shot, where it's not moving, it's just compartmentalized separate things. But really, Charles Fillmore meant, and he said they are interdependent, they're interconnected. And so as we learn more about science, we can learn about the body structure, the physical body, right? And the different systems that work together. Right? We have the blood flow, the skeletal system, the muscle system, the air flow, right? And they're all working in tandem. They're all working interdependently. None can stand alone, right? And none can work by themselves. So the same is true for the spiritual body in back of this physical body, right? And Charles Fillmore showed us where they are in the body. And then also, the appearances that we have is that things are linear, right? Like a string line. And maybe one flow through the spiritual body is perceiving, then will, the gate, what I choose, what to believe, I choose what to let in, I can decree a thing. And then that's working in collaboration with the understanding. And the frontal lobe, we've seen in science, does the sequencing. It is organizing the ideas, right? And then it can give it to the will, because we learned last week that nothing happens, no action is taken without the will. Right? So understanding can't do its job without the will. And I may be getting ahead of myself, and we'll see that the two together, the inseparable, and what the benefits are from that. So get wisdom, get understanding, and forget it not, says Proverbs 4, chapter 4, verse 5. We can question our beliefs. Yes, and we know that here, that we can question our beliefs. We don't have to take any thought that goes by, any perception of the frequencies out there. We can question these beliefs. So we can develop a spiritualized understanding through prayer, meditation, reflection, the study of truth, journaling, maybe even taking a walk in nature. However your heart calls you to deepen ourselves with these things. The natural spiritual flow emerges. Because faith, Peter perceives the divine possibility. And understanding, Thomas grasps and realizes the idea and its law. And then love, John, takes hold, unifies it, and writes it on the tablet of our hearts. So we can move from that intellectual grasp to a heartfelt realization and application. In collaboration with will, it puts feet under our prayers. So we perceive, faith, grasp, and take hold. So when this faculty is awakened, it partners with will for clear choices and love for compassion and living. Jesus himself modeled this when he opened their understanding that they might understand the scriptures. From Luke 24, verse 25. So, how it doesn't work. the undeveloped faculty. When understanding is underdeveloped or bypassed, we default to reactive, limited thinking. And it's not wrong or bad or to be shunned. It serves its purpose. It kept us alive. It survived. It helped us survive. And that part of the brain is the amygdala. That's our fight or flight response, right? So this kept us alive. We're here today because of it, right? But then we develop that frontal lobe, so we can activate it. And there's different ways we can do it. If the disciple is your nature, right? Looking into the Bible and scriptures for that disciple, you can focus on the color. But what I like to do is focus on that part of my body. Yeah, can I turn my attention to that frontal lobe, understanding the center of my forehead? And will is right at the brow. They're together in a pair. So understanding without will is incomplete. It becomes mere intellectual knowledge or passive insight that fails to produce any results. But will without understanding, as we learned last week, is dangerous. It leads to a blind force, stubbornness, personal willfulness, or misdirected effort, similar to zeal without knowledge. In Proverbs chapter 14, verse 29, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalts folly. So the person that's slow to wrath is of understanding, great understanding. And I don't know about you, but that has been my demise in my life. Anger. Anger has been my demise. And so developing this understanding is super important in my life. Because I know wisdom is the principal thing. And then all throughout my life, there has been this theme when I come to myself and I say, oh yeah, wisdom. Wisdom is what matters. Through all the experiences that I gain wisdom. So the amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm system, it takes over and it triggers that fast fight or flight response based on fear or past conditioning. It's our innateness. But we want to bring about our intuitiveness. And so spiritual understanding is bypassed at that point. I could not engage my frontal lobe. And it was brought to my awareness, engage your frontal lobe. And just focusing my attention on it was a great start. And at any moment of frustration, anger, or whatever it be for you, you can focus your attention on that frontal lobe. Activate it. So, how it doesn't work is when that is bypassed and we don't pause or discern a higher truth. We're stuck in a narrow kind of point of view. And so it's changed my life to engage this frontal lobe. And I have been able to, even in the moment, in the midst of the situations, to ask myself, what is my opportunity in this? What is my opportunity in this situation? I have this belief that life is for me, the universe is for me. That mustard seed, it didn't magically like everything come out of it to be more stuff, right? No energy is created, it's transferred. So what did the seed know how to do? It had all that intelligence to draw from outside, and it became it, right? Draw the resources of the air, the sun, the water from the ground, the nutrients from the ground, and it became this massive tree that provided homes for birds and shade and endless possibilities that we use trees for. It also breathes out what we breathe in, and we are in symbiotic relationship with it. And that has been a game changer in my life. And even in the midst of the situation, I didn't think it was possible. Because in those times of anger, I couldn't engage my understanding. All these thoughts and everything that I'm learning in church wasn't accessible whatsoever. And I couldn't sit still, and there's just this conflict in me going, and I didn't know what to do with it. I grew up learning to get rid of it, put it out there. That's not so good either, because then you could kind of put it on people and situations and places, right? There's another modality, you can internalize it, suppress it, and that's not good for our bodies. Yeah. And we can't just disown it or push it away. That didn't work for me. Push away the anger. No, I had to integrate it. I had to weave it together. My understanding helped me do that. Weave it together with all the parts of how does my anger serve me? I sat with that. And it showed me it is a protector. It protects me. It kept me safe. It kept me alive. It was a boundary maker. Right? But as I said, it's an alarm system. It's an alarm going off. Wait, there's something to pay attention to here. So posing that question, what is my opportunity in this? I became curious. And curiosity is a very powerful director. Because then I'm looking for opportunities in it. I'm trying to understand the situation. What is it here to serve me? What is it here to show me? What is it here to move me? Because if I'm hearing and I don't listen, and there's this inner knowing and I don't do it, then life will push a little bit harder. It starts gently at first, but it'll push a little bit harder, right? And show us situations to help us come to and grow. And so, what is my opportunity in this? And I learned to take that conflict where it belongs. Because all conflict is really inside and it's just mirrored outside. So if I could go to source, right, and resolve the conflict within me, I've seen it happen. The whole scene re-renders outside in its own time, and there might be a little delay. It takes as much time as it needs to take. But it will re-render the scene of situations and relationships where that conflict is resolved. So Proverbs 3:5 warns against this. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thy own understanding. So that own understanding, that being bypassed, that anger, that I have to move this stuff, I have to put this energy out there, lean not to that, but trust in the Lord with all my heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Another scripture, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 29 says, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. And now I am slow to wrath. And I feel like I've made progress because in the same experiences might come up, but I react differently. And that's how I know I've grown. So, for how it doesn't work and what comes about with that, escalated conflicts and regrettable words. How many times I've regretted what I've said. Physical stress and emotional exhaustion, stress to the body, rapid heartbeat, anxiety, wear and tear on our system, missed opportunities for healing, for compassion, and resolution. In spiritual stagnation, we sense truth, but we struggle to apply it. But the good news is this faculty can be quickened at any moment. Even in the heat of anger, we can pause, breathe, and affirm divine understanding. So there's enormous benefits to this. As I said, it has been a game changer in my life. Greater clarity, peace of mind, freedom from confusion. In this world, there's a lot of confusion and misinterpretations out there. Improved decision-making and more powerful, effective prayer. Stronger relationships through compassionate discernment. And so when love embraces understanding, confusion turns to compassion. That analysis turns to wisdom, and knowing becomes being. So we move from the reactive living to the mature Christ consciousness, demonstrating harmony, health, and good in our daily lives and daily affairs. And my favorite part, stability. Solid foundation. Did you ever think of the word understanding? Like literally under my standing, solid foundation. And I have been pondering this because, understanding lives here, right? But it's also under my feet. Yeah, under my standing, that solid foundation, that unseen realm and back of all things. So we can pause, breathe, question our thoughts, and affirm the truth that Spirit reveals to us. So who doesn't want greater clarity or a solid foundation? These benefits are so beautiful to live and express. So Proverbs chapter 16, verse 22 is related in Colossians chapter 1, verse 9. To be filled with that spiritual understanding. There was a lot of scriptures. It was hard to pick my favorites, but I put the favorites up on the slides. So a threefold flow: perceive through faith, grasp with our understanding, our intellectual understanding, and then take hold of it in our heart. Write those on the tablet of your heart. And then what I find, the actions are automatic after that. Then I am living these principles. And this truly works together, these three. So when anger or reactivity arises, we can pause. We can breathe. And we can question, what is my opportunity in this? And we can affirm, divine understanding is now active in me. Divine understanding is now active in me. So this week I challenge you to practice this threefold flow in one difficult situation. So perceive through faith, grasp with our understanding, and take hold in our hearts. My understanding of truth deepens and directs my life. I partner with divine will and love. Love calls my understanding twin and writes truth upon my heart. See, John, who represents love, is the one that emphasized Thomas as twin. He emphasized it. And I ponder, why would love call understanding twin? They partnered together. But it wasn't revealed exactly who was the twin. And we learned last week he was twins with Will. And that represents the promised land. So if we look back at the Old Testament and the 12 tribes, promised land, together will, and they're inseparable. So when they work in tandem, we enter the promised land. And so my closing prayer for all of you. Divine Spirit, open our understanding throughout each power center, harmonizing our spiritual bodies that lie in the back of and enable the physical body to be. Calm our reactive minds, quicken our spiritual insight, and fill us with your everlasting love. Amen. So go forth with clear understanding, steadfast will, and a receptive heart. Thank you.
Thank you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you.